I think when we look back on 2012, we'll be most excited that this group of players were the ones that were able to make the NCAA tournament and turn the corner for the program. This senior class was the first full freshman class that we ever recruited. And they came here knowing about the vision and knowing about the dream, and there'd be a facility, and we were going to build a great team around them. And, you hear all that in recruiting, and sometimes it plays out and sometimes it doesn't. And I think what they will take with them is that every single thing that Texas Tech promised them, they came through. And they got to play in a great environment for 4 years, and then they were the senior class that helped push us over the top and get us into the postseason. And then we had the unbelievable ability to give a gift back to this great community who's embraced us with playing a home game. 2,000-plus people. The atmosphere was tremendous. 2 goals from a senior. And, it was just a storybook for them to be able to go out that way. And for our freshmen now to have been a part of that and be able to tell this story for the next 4 years of their career while we push for hopefully bigger and better things. Our ultimate goal was never just to make the tournament. We just knew that was a short-term goal that needed to happen so that we could, go for bigger things, and that's where we're at right now.
You guys are only losing a few senior starters. How bright is the future, especially for the next year?
Well, we'll see. You lose players and you're excited about the new ones coming in, but it's a whole new story and a whole new set of circumstances. So this group has got to be able to learn from what they just went through and then be able to, to do more. And that's never easy. You have some success. There's a time when players can take their foot off the gas or think about, how great it was and want every single year after that to be just like the one before. And that's a dangerous, avenue to go down. You've got to set new goals, raise the standards, break your fitness records, play a tough spring, ramp up your schedule, so the entire process has to get, it has to be new, and it has to be a new challenge for them that they've got to embrace fully and be ready to go for it like they did this year.
With the tournament appearance, has that made recruits even more receptive to talking and coming to Texas Tech?
Well, what's been exciting about recruiting here is the kids absolutely love Texas Tech, and the kids that have come here were always interested in going to Tech. They just wanted to see the program moving forward and progressing, and the facility built, and the crowds coming in. And so, even before we made the NCAA tournament, this incredible 2012 class showed up. So if players like Janine Beckie and Jaylene Hinkle and Allie Murphy and Katie Heap and, a national team goalkeeper from New Zealand, if these players are showing up before we make the tournament, then it certainly stands to reason that this just furthers our awareness and enhances our ability to bring in, top players from around the country and around the world, evidently.
Talk about Janine picking up All-American honors and what that means to the program.
It means a lot for all of us, but, most importantly, it speaks to the commitment level that Janine Beckie has had in the last 2 years of her life getting ready to come to Texas Tech. Her national team exposure certainly furthered her development. But you just don't get that award without being ready for your college season. She didn't take her summer lightly. She didn't take her weight room lightly. She doesn't take anything lightly when it comes to training and preparation. And I think the lesson she gives to everybody is when you're all in, you've got God-given talent anyway, but your heart's in it and your mind is in it and you're totally committed. Even when you are exhausted, good things happen. And so for a kid who's such a special young lady off the field, such a great student athlete and representative of Texas Tech, to see her get that is heartwarming because you love it when great things happen to good kids like that. And so it's a great step for her, a great freshman year.
In a season full of accomplishments and high moments, what would you say was your favorite moment of the season?
I don't think there's any doubt that walking off the field and Raider Power being chanted in our stadium after our first ever NCAA win, to be able to give the gift of hosting an NCAA game in the John Walker Soccer Complex with the entire soccer community here, plenty of students here. I think the paid attendance was 1,750, well over 2,000 streamed in here before the end of the game, and they were chanting Raider Power as our girls were walking off, having fully realized their goal of making the tournament. Every parent on our team was pretty much here. It was just the John Walker family was here, all the athletic directors were here, plenty of the coaches and student athletes and the community. It was just a great moment to say, not only did we get in, but we won, and we did it here, and we were able to give that gift back to this local community who supported us when we weren't very good. Was, I think, the highlight for me is to be able to see that all come together and be able to do that here at Texas Tech was a special moment for us all.
Not even close to how well it went was what I imagined, but, obviously coming in here, my dream was to do, as well as I could. So, at the end of the season, I look back and say that, all I did was what I did for my teammates, and it got us further than this team imagined and that the school imagined. So, it was a great season.
What was it like getting the call that you made All-American?
Well, something I definitely didn't expect. At the end of the season, I didn't even really know about it before I got it. So it's something that I didn't expect, but I heard it, and I mean, it's exciting, and that kind of stuff, like, it excites me, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, like, get freaked out about it. But because that stuff just comes with the game, and that's what I love the most, is just playing and getting out there. And I mean, so all the awards come with it, but I like just being on the field.
After the Florida State game, how soon did you start thinking about next year?
Right when the whistle blew, I was like, okay, it's over. But I mean, it's sad, and we had a great run, but you got to think forward all the time, especially when you're upset. So we had an unbelievable season, and our seniors are incredible and will be highly missed, but we have to look forward to next season and doing even bigger things.
What has Tom told you about what you need to do over the offseason to get even better?
I mean, we've talked about a couple weaknesses and things that I didn't do very well this season and that I could do better next year, so definitely working on that in the offseason, and just our entire team getting more fit and getting stronger and faster is definitely something that I think every team looks forward to. But for me personally, there's just some technical things in my game that I need to work on for next year.
What was your favorite moment of the season?
I think sending Florida State into overtime was my favorite part, just because it's so exciting. And I mean, no one thought we would even stay with them. So the fact that we brought them to double overtime with 6 minutes left, and she scored a beautiful goal, so credit to her. But I mean, my favorite feeling is just shocking the country. I mean, no one thought we'd get even that far. No one thought we'd make the tournament, and we got to the second round. So I think postseason was my favorite part.
What does it mean to you to be an All-American?
I mean, like I said, I enjoy the feeling, and it's awesome being honored with such a high level of players. But I mean, I do everything that I've done this whole season for my team and for my coaches and for my family and friends. So it feels really good to be honored, obviously, with some of the best players in the country and maybe even the world when they get to the pro level. So it's a big honor, and I'm excited about it.
How valuable a lesson is it making the tournament and now knowing what it takes to get there?
Well, I mean, before this year, the seniors, juniors, and sophomores didn't know what it was like to be in the postseason, and us freshmen coming in obviously didn't know either. But yeah, so it was new for all of us, and I think that just the thing that we have to realize is that it starts the day we start preseason, and it starts the day we start off season. So working that much harder to get further than we did this year is just, I think everyone knows that mentality now, that you always have to be mentally strong. You always have to be, physically as best as you can. Maybe sometimes you're run down and tired, but you got to push through it mentally. And so, I mean, being in the postseason this year has made us all more mentally strong, and I think it'll help us through the regular season next year.